So it's nice to meet you finally. I know we've been sort of chatting back and forth for the past, I don't know, maybe month, I guess, a little longer than a month or something like that. But all this fun stuff going around and you having t-shirts all over the world and taking pictures of it and of authentic ginger shirts, which is great. So it's nice to see somebody else repping the brand out there in the world. And I guess in your job, you're traveling quite frequently. So
I'm going to 3 new destinations next week, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so where does it take you for the next 3?
So I'll start off in Crete, Greece.
Yes.
Then I'll go to Djibouti, Africa, and Shannon, Ireland to end off. And then I don't know where after that.
Oh man, that's awesome. And you've never been to those 3 places?
Nope, those are all new.
So cool.
22 countries.
So yeah, so your last trip was Germany?
I did. I started in Germany, and that photo that I had taken was actually at, I can't remember the name of the castle right now, but we did a hike up to this castle. We were in Ramstein.
Yep.
And so we went to this castle, and that's where we took a bunch of cool pictures because that just had the best view. After that, we went to Kuwait, and then we went, I stopped off in Italy, but you can't stay in Italy still right now. They're still closed off. And then we made our way all the way across to California. We went to LA and then hopped around the United States a bunch, and then I got to come home.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I'm going to ask you too, and you're asked this a lot, I'm sure, from your friends, or at least you've been asked this before, is your favorite stop you've ever been to so far in your career?
It's hard. I have a top 2 because they're very, very diverse. Japan and Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Wow.
Yes, nobody thinks about Bulgaria. They're like, really, Bulgaria? And I'm like, Bulgaria is amazing. It's such a beautiful country, and the people are just so kind. And I was actually there on International Women's Day, and in the United States, it's just so different being in places for international holidays. They actually celebrate it. Here it's kind of like we don't talk about it, and it's like, oh, you'll be on Instagram, oh cool, it's International Women's Day, whatever. There, you know, me and my friend were walking around and getting food, because there everyone walks. There are cars, but everybody walks there. You know, you walk through the park and there's just families hanging up hammocks and just reading books. They're not on their phones constantly. Like it's just a different culture there, so it's like really, really interesting and neat. And the food was really good, and it's not as developed as we are, so it's like they're still like having more of an old school mindset on certain things, so I think that's really neat. Cool. The architecture is amazing. I love churches. Everywhere I go, if there's a church, I go to the church. Like churches, so that's like my one thing that I do. And then Japan is just...
It's Japan. I know what you mean. Yeah. Did you find you stood out? Did people look at your hair and kind of...
People took pictures of me. Everyone, because our crew is very diverse. Like but I'm the only redhead in our entire company. We're a airline, but I'm the only redhead in the whole company.
What's the airline?
It's called National Air Cargo. It's a charter company, so they mainly do like 747 like cargo stuff. So like when everything happened, we were transporting masks and stuff, going to China a lot, so I have my Chinese visa. Never been, but if I have to go, I can go now. But yeah, we do a lot of like special groups. Like Monday I flew NASA employees down to South America. We did some rescue missions during the quarantine. We went and saved people who were stuck on the cruise ships for like 2-3 months and brought them to another location so they could all get home, because they're all from like Brazil and Honduras and all those places. So it was like the crew members. So it's a different kind of flying, but so so out of all my employees, I'm the only ginger. So when you're walking through countries like that, people definitely like, especially like Kuwait, for example, too, and Japan, like those places, people just look at you because you're not only fair skinned, but you have this hair that they're just like, what is that? I've only ever seen that on, you know, like people were legit, like my crew members were like, they're taking pictures of you, and I'm like, I don't know, just let them take the picture. Do you have any stories of your hair color in any of those trips you've been on? No, but I did do passenger flying for a little while, like regular commercial flying, and I kid you not, every single, like whoever, I always got stuck in the front because I was the most junior in that company. I worked for Allegiant for a little while, and every single flight, every single one, somebody would walk on the plane, oh my gosh, your hair is just so beautiful, and all my crew members just knew to expect it. They were like, Justin, here she comes on with her hair. And it's like, cause it's like long, it's like really long and it's really thick, and you know, so it's like, and I always style it different. So, but people, and then people will touch it sometimes randomly. They'll just go grab it. I'm like, what are you doing? You're touching my hair. It's so weird, you know. So it's, but I'm used to it now. But it's just funny because there's never a time where somebody doesn't comment on my hair. And it's weird because I always tell people, you know, I've had this hair for going on 32 years now. I look in the mirror and I just see me, and I don't see, I don't even recognize this as red hair anymore, just because it's part of me. But when other people point it out, I'm like, yeah, I guess it's really nice. It's cool. You know, it's pretty, but it's like my hair. So it's normal to other people. It's not. So it's like hard to.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're dying to have it.
Yes. my mom, my whole life growing up, my mom always dyed her hair red.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because she's brunette. I'm the only redhead in my whole entire family. So as well, I'm the oddity. I'm the only one with this skin tone and freckles, and I just came out, you know, that a little anonymous, whatever, you know. It's like I'm that mutation.
Yes, that's wild. So I'm wondering where that comes from then. And you know, it's interesting, that point you brought up. So when you're growing up with red hair, you know, how, you know, was it just kind of making fun in a fun way, or did you have some serious kind of blows as a young kid as far as really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
in New York, right?
Well, so I'm from New York originally, and then we moved to, I grew up basically in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So, like, that's where like most of my memories are and stuff. Like, it's second grade is when we moved there. And that, like, throughout all of elementary school, I definitely got picked on. I got the carrot top. I got like all sorts of weird questions, you know, but I got picked on a lot for my hair. And it's weird because I say that redheads are like a good red wine because we just get better with age, is my opinion. Because when we're kids, there's a lot of us that honestly, like, as a breed of people, I feel like some of us as children are just not the cutest. And we're pretty people, but it's like we have like an odd thing because we're still growing into ourselves. And I think that's what it was for me. It's like, you know, when I was a kid, I had no eyelashes, no eyebrows, you know, things like that. So, but yeah, so I got picked on. So as soon as I got in high school, my mom started letting me highlight my hair. I was almost completely blonde.
Oh, no.
As soon as I, like, probably around 18, I dyed my hair really dark for the first time.
Oh, no.
It was like really like a dark brown. And then I kept dyeing it all the way up until went to cosmetology school. And every time my hair, my roots would come in, they'd be like, girl, who gave you hot roots? That means like your roots are messed up.
I know what you. Yeah.
They're like, who gave you hot roots? I'm like, no, that's my natural hair color. No one believed me forever.
Oh, no.
Whatever, you're lying. You wouldn't dye that. Nobody would dye that color. And then after I had my son, I just was like, screw it, and I chopped all my hair off, had a pixie cut, and let it grow out red.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
that must have looked really cool. And when you went pixie, and then as it's growing, you still have to cut it to keep the dark brown coming out. So you must have had like a section of brown hair that was, and then your red hair is coming.
Well, I highlighted it to where it blended, so it wasn't as bad. It wasn't
okay.
That bad. I was doing hair, you know, I know this is, so I like did work it out to where you couldn't really tell, and then finally once it all just, once it came out, I cut a little bit off, and then I just let it grow. So I always had really short hair, and then once I got all of that color and stuff out, I just started letting it grow, and now it's almost like all the way, it's all the way down to the bottom of my back right now. So
wow.
Yeah. And my daughter, her hair is brown in all the pictures, but in person, when you take her outside, and it started when she was probably 3 years old, she has these two, when you pull her hair back, she has these two, I'm talking like penny copper strips that
no kidding.
Hair, and everyone, like, in every teacher, do you highlight her hair?
Yeah.
Nothing. It's natural. Like I have going white. I have all this white in my hair, and people are like, do you highlight your hair? I'm like, no. Drunk and
So
white.
that's the other good thing. You'll never go gray because red hair always goes white. So you're set. There's nothing to worry about.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I'll go blonde. I don't mind gray. I think it would be cool to be an old salt and pepper lady, but
Okay.
I'm like, I'll be a platinum lady too. This is fine.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think pepper's in your cards.
No, it's not. I don't have a single. I'm like waiting because I'm, like I'll be 32 next month. So I'm like,
Yep.
where's the gray hair coming in? Everyone my age has gray hairs.
Right.
No, mine's all just white. It's like,
I hear you. Yeah.
I think probably around 25 was when I really, really, really started embracing the fact that I had awesome hair. And it's sad to me that it took so long for me to realize that in a way, because if I wouldn't have gotten so like tortured as a kid, I probably would have embraced it. And now I know like why so many people told me, don't ever color your hair, don't ever do that. And then I did. And now I'm like, why did I ever do that? I look back at pictures and I'm like, ooh, what was I thinking? Like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's
I'm happy
awesome.
that, and if we can, especially in our children, if you can instill that in them and, just hopefully like they'll never let anybody tell them any different. Cause I would have been, it's like you can say it so much, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel on the inside. So the fact that we can encourage them that being a gender is this amazing thing, that's like a good thing, because I didn't have that necessarily. My parents did a good job. They loved it, but at the same time, they're like, if you feel better, then do what you need to do, like they were very supportive all the time. And they, my mom loved my red hair. She did her thing, but in our other generations, now I'm kind of like, your company is a positive image. It's like, that's what we need to teach them, is it's okay to be different, because it's amazing.
Yeah. And that's that's the premise behind the company. I mean, if it wasn't for our kids, all four of them have red hair, so it was important. In your eyes, do you think that the redhead culture is in fact a culture worth exploring and exposing? Do you think it's important?
I think so, because I think, like I said earlier, there, especially like as kids, we do get picked on a lot. I mean, I think now it's a little bit better because people are more on the fact of don't look at other people. Like I think as parents, like we've, especially like in generations growing, like we're saying, don't, it's more of a really don't point. People are not, don't, because they have something different, you don't point that out, or you don't say anything, everybody's equal type of thing, so it's like when I was a kid though, that wasn't necessarily the case. And I did get picked on a lot, but it's cool because as being somebody with like somebody different, even though it's not a huge difference, it does make you feel good to know that there is a community of you, because every time I see a redhead out in public, I'm like, it's like this like acknowledged thing, you just look at each other, or you notice each other. Like at my gym, there's two redheads that go to my gym. I'm the third, so there's three of us that I know of. And we always see each other, and we don't talk to each other, but we just look at each other and we'll smile, and we're like, what's up, because we're not on. So it's like it's like an unspoken thing.
Yes.
So it's cool to have like a community, because you can just kind of you're like, you're not alone, and it's not so weird or so different, because sometimes you do. I mean, there are times where I still feel like, man, I haven't seen a gender in a really long time. Like,
That's awesome. Well, listen, enjoy your trip this weekend, or I guess it'd be going for the weekend. Hopefully we get a chance to chat again. I'm sure now that we're connected on Instagram and through this and this connectivity, and then I'll send you some information on the ambassadors side of things. I look forward to seeing what else there is to come from you, from photos or whatever else. And again, let us know if there's anything we can do on our side to help moving things along with us.
I definitely will. Thank you for having me.
All right. It was really fun. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Okay, bye.